Good morning.
Hi, everyone. Hi there. I haven't obviously seen you in the members area on Sunday, but I haven't seen you guys for how long?
Too long. Well, we were away for a while for our birthdays, and then before that, it was about 10 or 11 days. You've always saying, where is she? She's been kept in a cupboard.
Mark took me to one of my favourite places in Cornwall for my birthday and for his birthday. So we had some time away, which was really nice. We kept feeling bad because we weren't like dancing on the tables, but actually half of my birthday just stayed in bed.
Yeah.
Just looking at the sea.
My therapist said it was good.
Do you think you should do this? He was so sweet, but don't you want to go for a massage? And I thought, do you know what? I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to sit here.
Yeah. It was weird as well. And then on my birthday, you weren't feeling particularly well. And then my therapist has given me this mission to say no more often to people. And that's not like no, it's more a kind of...
Should we pop upstairs for the afternoon?
Yes.
It's not working, is it?
It depends on what's being offered. But in fact, no. But what I'm trying to say no to is myself. So really, on my birthday, we could have ended up chasing rainbows. And as it transpired, we weren't feeling particularly well. We kind of wanted to cozy down. And we could have ended in the old me. I would have made it happen you would have
because we got the tickets for the cinema.
Yeah.
We had the booking at the restaurant, and we just went no, cake in bed.
I said no.
Celebrity Jungle.
That moment where you let me rub.
All right, now stop. Okay, so it's lovely to see you all.
Nat, Jackie Pugh says she loved the Gladiator 2 review last night. That was the film we were going to go and see.
I do really want to see it.
I think you might be surprised.
I love movies
no,
like
but you're
that.
not convinced about Paul Mescal.
Spartacus.
Claudius is one film.
No,
Spartacus is the other film.
Spartacus. I can't say it.
Say Spartacus.
I can't.
Say it.
Spartacus.
Yes.
I loved Spartacus.
It's not Spartacus.
No, but it's that sort of ilk.
It's not. It's Claudius.
Yeah, no, I don't. Claudius was a TV series.
Yeah, with Derek Jacobi. And interestingly, Derek Jacobi is in these films, isn't he? He's in the Gladiator film. Lee Durant. I think you're going to... It was boy's own daring do. I hate saying that because it sounds sexist, but it is.
So the next one we've got to see is Wicked.
Zoe says, I'd rather see that than Wicked.
Well, apparently it is fantastic. Do you remember when we reviewed the trailer and we actually both really loved it? I do think Ariana Grande, as odd as she is a phenomenal actress. We were talking about her last night, actually, and I first saw her. What was that? Victorious. It's like a kids show years ago. And I was sat down watching this kids show, laughing my head off. She was so good.
She's a funny little thing,
and then she came on Loose Women, and she was a bit of a disappointment.
Zoe says she doesn't do musicals. Lee Durant says all this Wicked hype is doing my head in. I think we should start with Wicked because we're going to talk about it. And last night I was a bit cheeky. Check out our shorts. I played with the sound effects underneath an Ariana Grande interview. Because apparently they've done nothing but cry in every press junket or press interview.
I was thinking about that. I watched it and I enjoyed it, but then I thought, you didn't need to put any sound effects. This is what they're doing everywhere. Yeah. Has anybody seen any of their interviews? They're doing a massive press push, as Lee says there. You know, he's a bit sick of all the hype. But this will have cost a bloody fortune to make this film. So they are going to be working their arse off with the press tour.
They've done the two. This is part one. And the first film is something like 2.5 to 3 hours. It's longer than the musical. And the musical is the whole story. And they've managed to basically extend the story and chop it into two films. And this is part
two films.
One. This is part one.
Oh, I didn't know it was two films.
Yeah, and so we've got the equivalent of the stage show in terms of time telling us half the story. What's interesting about this is everyone knows the story really well because so many people have seen Wicked. I mean, it's an absolute Broadway hit, isn't it? You know, the vast majority of people, it's like The Lion King, the musical. So this isn't about going to be surprised or wonder what happens or spoilers and all that. We all know exactly what's happening. But it does look fantastic. But let's have a look at some of the interviews on the press junket. Here's a little compilation that we managed to pull off YouTube. Check this out.
Millions of kids like me who find refuge in the witches.
We love you.
And I thank you. I was thinking I'm going to cry my glitter off. I'm going to go blind from glitter.
No, you both have to stop.
It was the highlight of my life. Oh my God. It's been a really long journey.
It's very moving.
Yeah.
It's really emotional. We're really grateful to see you all. Thank you so much.
We love you.
You're not going to tell me.
I just know what it's like to feel like you don't fit
Like you are just like outside of the ordinary. Like there's no room for you. And I know what all of that feels like, and
Well,
yeah.
truthfully, we're a bunch of crybabies over here.
Yeah. That's beautiful. She is a good witch. If like kids can feel that, then yeah. That's the point.
I don't know who can watch this movie and not have that.
Yeah.
And it's almost undescribable how you feel when you're watching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to tell all of us, I see, like you're telling all of us, I see you, you know?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And they shipped us, thank you. Thank you.
We're trying our best, but there's a lot of emotional things that happen, and we're just going with it.
Yeah, you need to understand. It's been like 3 years, people.
Sopping hearts.
There's a lot
We've had to keep this in for such a long time.
And it's a full circle moment for both of you.
Why does emotional availability scare you so?
I've got what this is now. I totally understand. First of all, I didn't know it was 2 films. They have been. They are both extremely good actresses. Okay.
Right.
And they are so in it, right? There is acting where you act, you know, and you really feel, and then there is inhabiting the part, and they have so inhabited the role. And actually, I saw something written in Variety magazine, and I thought, yeah, I get that. And they were saying, you know, they have been in such a bubble to make this film because you would have to be. They probably don't even know who's won the election. Right, so they're in because Ariana Grande is not like that, and she's like, "Oh, they're still talking like they're in the movie." It's incredibly hard if you worked, 16 hours a day over a very long period with that kind of intensity to actually just switch it off.
Yes,
and the Americans are very emotionally available.
Cynthia Erivo is British. I mean, and I agree, and a couple of details on that actually. They did shoot the films back to back. There are 2 films. That's an epic amount of content to shoot. The COVID interrupted at various times the original genesis of this film. They were then struck with the writer's strike. So they had to wait almost something like a year between finishing the film, bar the final number in this film, and then pick it all up again and do the final number. So I accept that.
It was very cringe.
But my God, it's so distressingly eggy.
Oh, but I love them for it. We don't see enough of that real actor stuff.
How do you cope with nails like that?
But aside of that, and it is very cringe, it's very American, like a lot of actors, their emotions are very close to their skin.
Look, I love actors. I love how over the top actors can be. I don't like it when they're nasty, but there's nothing harmful in what they're doing. I mean, at all.
Everybody's had a good laugh over it.
I noticed someone, I'm pleased you pulled it up. For fuck's sake, Aislinn, sorry, I pronounced your name incorrectly. Is it Aislinn, Aislinn? How do you spell it? How do you pronounce it? I don't want to get it wrong. Aislinn Maguire, you said it was woke. I felt uneasy when you said that. Why are you calling it woke? Is it the wokeness of just emoting? I presume that's what you mean, because I thought there was a really interesting post it's Miss Anne Harriman, is that right?
Yeah, I love Miss Anne.
And he posted this the other day. This is outrageous in terms of the front cover of the newspapers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last
covering
night.
the press release. Check this out. I've recorded his carousel as a film, so it will move on automatically. Here's the front pages. Just thinking in terms of accusations of woke and all that kind of. I'm hoping and presuming you mean in terms of emotion. Have a look at this. So you've got Ariana Grande on the right. And then we've just got Ariana Grande again on the Daily Telegraph. And the Times, just Ariana Grande.
It's just...
this is... Whereas it's a totally equitable cast. And I think he made a really, really good point. This was his post. Where is my sister Cynthia Erivo on these newspaper covers? You think she isn't the star of Wicked? This is completely unacceptable. They could easily have used a picture with both of these stars. There were many. Cynthia is one of the greatest artistic talents we've seen in a generation, and this is her moment too. We have to do better than this.
You're not bloody kidding.
I thought it was absolutely shocking.
It's just, I saw his post at the time. I was just like, they're just blatant.
Yeah.
It's all in plain sight.
I think,
like so much that's going on in the world. We'll just do it, and to be awake is to be awake to other people's lives and needs and values, and that's what being awake and these kind of publications will have you think that woke, they've made it into they've weaponized that word, and it really pisses me off. She's a talented woman who will have worked her bloody arse off, who was there selling the movie. Why is she not also in that photo?
Yeah. Okay, Aisling, thank you. Aisling just kind of, pronouncing him Aisling, emoting, and I feel seen. We are all human. We are all seen. Look, here's the thing. I don't think it is woke. I think hurling woke at this is the wrong term. It's wrong, and it's dangerous, actually, I think, in this instance. What I do think is it's hideous. I find it hideously embarrassing, and I find
that's because you're so British,
and I find it toe-curlingly squeamish, but toe-curlingly in the way that the Queen got crushed by the house and the Wizard of Oz, and her feet.
But I wonder if Aisling means that these days younger people talk about every detail of their emotions. Maybe that's what Aisling means, because I was talking to one of our daughters yesterday and she was saying, oh God, it was exhausting. So-and-so is emotional. So-and-so is emotional. This was college. And I was like, God, I don't remember anyone being emotional at school. And she said, oh God, everybody's emotional. Is it at college? She says everybody's emotional all the time.
Well, what about melodramatic? It's very melodramatic. I mean, that's a good word.
But you know what? I just love the mixture of people. So I really love melodramatic people, like shy people, like crazy ass people.
Oh yeah.
And I just think there's a place for melodrama, and actually to be able to act and to put yourself in that position where everyone's looking at you and you've got to deliver, you have to have something extra. I think. And these people are superstars, and I imagine that being a superstar is incredibly difficult because you've got to deliver in.
I think also one of the things people really struggle to kind of comprehend is I find that toe-curlingly awful, but I absolutely love that it's happened.
Yeah, you cringe.
As
soon as I saw it, I thought Mark's going to watch this and his right armpit's going to sweat.
So in the spirit of trying to understand that maybe this film is a work of total absolute art, I like this post that you found last night of someone going to see Wicked. Check this out.
3 minutes for the first half of musical, and the trailer looks shit, so I'm like, 2 hours 40 minutes of that, and then everyone's telling me it's fucking Citizen Kane. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to win Best Picture. I'm like, can we all just calm down, please? It can't be that good.
This is listening to the podcast. This is after.
It was okay.
Okay. That's what it is now. But I think also maybe they're crying from sheer relief
that it's over.
No, that people like it, because if you think about,
I thought finally we're at the end.
If you think about Joker, which we loved so much, and what they put into that, and the risks that they took, because they did such a, they turned everything upside down, and then it was a flop. Yeah. And you think they've put all of that work into it. So
here's the thing.
Maybe there's real nerves.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing. Absolutely. Here's the thing. We are going to give an honest review. We always do. We're not going to give a skewed review because we want to please certain people. We're the only people who enjoyed Joker too, it seems. But we're going to review it. Hopefully, Lee Pitt, you're going to be around. It'd be nice to do a StreamYard review with you. I'm going to give it an honest review, despite the fact that I could not stand the director's last film, which was Crazy Rich Asians, just a horrendous movie, and not being a fan of musicals and not particularly being a fan of Wicked itself. But I want to give it a go, because I have to say, actually, I disagree with that guy. I think the trailers looked actually really
phenomenal.
Good. I think it looks.
I have to say, I would never really fancy going to cinema with him.
Who?
Him.
Who?
Well, that bloke.
Oh,
he
I
was
thought you
so
meant-
miserable. Imagine
Yeah,
going up the
yeah.
escalator to see if
Well, no,
something. Can we all just calm down? It's like,
But a
well,
lot
why
of
don't you
peop-
just stay at home?
But a lot of people in this chat room right now are saying, can it be this amazing? Can anything be this amazing?
Well,
I
that
mean,
is always
you
the
know,
worry, isn't
yeah.
it? When you keep hearing something's amazing, you worry that you're going to get there and be disappointed.
Exactly. Okay,
We shall see.
Who's this chap? Does anyone know who this chap is?
Nope.
This guy here, this geezer. This is the guy who triggered the petition, which has now reached well over 2 million. This is Michael Westwood, who on Wednesday launched a petition saying we want a new general election because basically Labour have failed in all their promises. Now, can someone just quickly calculate for me, how long have we had a Labour Party for? I mean, I'm not a fan of Starmer, but how long have they actually been in?
A few months.
Not long.
4 months, 5 months.
So this, and as soon as a petition of any form reaches over, I think it's 100,000, it has to get discussed in the House of Commons. I think Keir Starmer was even asked about this on This Morning, yesterday, and fair enough to Keir Starmer, who I cannot abide. It's like he said, that's not the system we have, where someone who runs a pub starts a petition, and the reason it's hit 2 million or over 2 million is, of course, Elon Musk has really promoted it, pushed it, described us as living in a nanny state and all this kind of thing.
Very good point, Lee.
Let's have a look. Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
I love that they call for a petition for a new general election, but when we talk about a Brexit referendum, we have to accept the will of the people. Brilliantly
Yeah.
put.
I mean, you just can't do this because you're going to have, if you manage to get everyone that didn't want this government in, it's like Lee says, it's like doing another election. It doesn't work like that.
But let me give you a start. Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate. I think that's a strong point, Lee. But how about this as a kind of pushback on that? Given that the Brexit referendum was right down the middle and it was split half and half, and there was no sort of third element. I think 23 million didn't vote for Labour, and 6-7 million did. I mean, it's a vast difference to saying that 50% of the country are happy with them. I think my feeling on this is, I think the reason this has gained traction is that we've always known that Labour's victory or Labour's support is a very thin layer of support across the country. But I think more than ever, there's a massive, massive numerical discrepancy between what got Labour in and the huge, and I'm talking about not just reformers, people who bizarrely are still members of the Conservative Party, but Green Party. The Green Party had a huge surge at the election.
I missed this. Was this yesterday? Zoe, the only good thing Labour has done recently is making spiking a criminal offence. My God, I thought spiking was a criminal offence.
Wow.
I was thrilled with that news yesterday as someone who's been spiked.
Yeah, that is.
Wow, so that must have been huge for you yesterday. So, do you know what? If I'm honest, I thought it already was.
Yes, so did I. But yeah, and it's amazing that it isn't. But maybe it's a specified offence now.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're right, actually.
Philippa Wallace-Dunlop has clarified to say it's 2.5 million last night. I mean,
it's a weird one.
This?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a couple of things I want to say on this. You can't... The system we've got isn't democratic. Categorically isn't. We're sold apart, but we all go, well, that's the system we've got.
We all go, well, we know we'll all get in and then they won't do anything they say.
But also, I have to say, forgetting what one feels even about the Labour Party, how do they come in 5 months and undo 14 years of Tory rule? Hello?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what happened?
So I was just reading.
Oh, right. I mean, how do they literally come in? I think it's too much of a... Do you not think it's too much of a kind of pushback at too early a stage? It's a parliamentary system, says YouTube. It's not a democracy. Yeah. I mean, Heather, let's have a look. Heather Draper, I think a government that have lied about the manifesto from day one should be contested. Every single government in the history of Britain
I also agree with you, Heather, because this is a good little mix-up, because actually we do tend to just sit back. Just because this has always been the way isn't a reason to accept it.
No,
we should have our voices after we've voted you in. For instance, David Lammy, how many days did it take him to say anything about the ICC ruling? The arrest warrants out for Netanyahu and Gallant. I just think you are our foreign fucking secretary. We have put you in that position, and you are just shutting the front door on it and not going to even say anything. They don't get any, well, the only thing they can get is the next time round you don't vote for them. But whilst they're in power, it really does make me sick that they, all of them, doesn't matter who it is, get this arrogant, like, sit down, shut up, and we're doing what we're doing. It really pisses me off.
I mean, one of the weirdest things is, because America is, you know, you look at the awful options that you've got in American politics. I do genuinely wish and think that we should have a system here where every day, like in America, you have a press briefing where the government has to have a press spokesman who is answerable to the press. Now, admittedly, 70% of our press will never ask probing questions. But in the spirit of a true democracy, and I think that's one of the most...
They might get better because they're in vision. The press, it might bring the press, pull the press's boots up.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't want it because they know they will be under a spotlight of not asking the bloody questions we want answered.
And potentially really sort of shown... I mean, I think it's one of the few aspects, or one of the aspects of American political system that really does. I mean, the amount of times you hear journalists in America saying what we all want to say to our leaders doesn't change anything.
But it's great watching them squirm and tell the most blatant lies in front of our face.
Holding them to account. I think personally a petition, maybe we should start one, needs to be started to discuss the importance and the need to have our media, and I don't just mean the legacy media that supports these fucking governments, but all forms of media, from Al Jazeera through to, you know, through to Zeteo, through to all of the new news stations, through to the, you know, BBC. Let's start a petition. Let's start a petition saying there should be a daily press briefing of every weekday for this government. Why not?
Yeah.
Hold them to account.
Let's do it.
Because what happens instead is we are privy to the editorial decisions of a biased editorial board. The news editor on the desk, like the night of the arrest warrants being issued, someone on that news desk at the BBC will have said, we've got to cover it, which they did, but don't put it in the top 5 trailing headlines. That's outrageous.
Yeah, really outrageous.
And I think a petition on that would be one small way of adjusting. Really, I get what you're saying, YouTube. It's a parliamentary system. It's the system of governance we have. But hey, fuck what? Let's fucking smash against the edges of it. Let's try and change it.
Why can't we just ask them questions?
Yeah, hold them to account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
Like that. Let's try and start the petition for that, and let's get some motivation behind it. I think it's a really important one. Anyway, we've got this guy to thank for the chat. He owns 3 pubs and he's not happy. So should we talk about Davina McCall?
Yes, because I haven't seen you since Davina McCall's news, and we were just absolutely floored by it, weren't we?
Well, the news actually happened. Reese contacted me on the live I did the last Friday that we all did, I think, and the news literally was breaking that she'd had this lump, you know, the tumour or benign tumour found, and that she had to go.
Can't believe it, because how long ago was the NTAs? A couple of months ago. I think she said she'd known for a couple of months. And I came back from the NTAs, didn't I? And I said to you, the very best part of the night was Davina accepting her award, was that love between her and Michael. Yeah. They are just such an amazing couple. And I just love her. She's one of those really good people. And yeah, she's had so much go on in her life, hasn't she? So the other day when she posted this video, I am not lying to you guys, I had tears streaming down my face, because not only because I was just so glad to see that she was through, because I have to tell you, it's pissing me off. Every time anybody talked about her having a tumour, they go, oh, but it's not cancer. It's like, excuse me, she's got a tumour deep right down in the middle of her brain. They're going to go through into her brain to take it out. This is a massive deal.
Yeah.
And so, but also, well, let's play it and then say the other thing that hit me about it.
Hi. I just thought I'd check in and say an enormous heartfelt thank you to everybody who's messaged me or been in touch. It's God, it's meant the world. It's been mad, and it's just really nice to be back home. I'm on the other side. My short-term memory's a bit remiss, but that is something that I can work on, so I'm really happy about that. I'm writing down everything that I'm doing to keep myself feeling safe and I'm being brilliantly looked after by Michael and my mum. I'd quickly like to say big up the stepmums. I don't really say thank you to Gabby enough. She's been an amazing rock my whole life. I was talking yesterday to somebody. I said I've got a massive dose of vitamin G. I think when something like this happens, I just feel so grateful. I've always been grateful. I've been really lucky in my life, but I feel unbelievably grateful right now. So thanks for everything, all of you. I'm on the mend, I'm resting, I'm sleeping loads, and I feel really good. I just feel very lucky.
Oh my God, it gets me every time.
Bless her, bless her,
it
bless
just
her,
gets
bless
me
her.
every time. And
Bless
I think, I love that. I've never heard that before. Vitamin G.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It is. Now, I know Mark always goes off on one about toxic gratitude and everything.
Well, there's
Whenever
a
I
time
talk
and a
about
place.
no,
I think,
but
you know.
this is
it.
This is it. You know, she says I've been very lucky in my life, and I don't really believe in luck. I think there's good fortune comes, and I think that when you listen to the podcast she did with Diary of a CEO, you know, I think she's had an incredibly difficult path, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's done is she makes everything into something positive. I mean, I don't know Davina well. And obviously, I'm talking about what I see, and sometimes we have little DMs with each other. And I just think she's just one of those people that truly does give out gratitude and positivity. And I really believe that does put a light out, and other people can feed on it, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think if you come through and you say, I'm just so grateful, and to thank her I don't know, I just found it a really beautiful human thing, that's all.
You know, my sort of, you know, real kind of, connection in a sense, or the way I sort of relate to Davina as well is, I mean, of course, she's gone through all her addiction problems, within the world that she's in and the life that she leads, the sobriety that she's retained and she's maintained and she's sustained, alongside all of this amazing sobriety. And also, she's one of those other kind of, I mean, I try to do this in a small way, but try and demonstrate to certainly my kids and people who know that you can have a good time, you can be crazy, you can be fun, you can do all of this stuff without having a drop of alcohol in you. Richard E. Grant's not an alcoholic, by the way, or an addict, but he never drinks. And he's another example of someone who can, I was getting real Richard E. Grant vibes from her almost in that. There's that sense
and that voracious appetite for life. I think that's what the first thing I thought when I saw about this tumour.
Can I just read this statement just quickly? Because Edward Beventon, Edward Beventon, you're very sort of, I love your sparky comments. You're quite, teaches me personally to be more considerate. Oh, I love that.
I bet she'd love that.
Yeah, thank you.
I bet she would love that.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I thought when I heard the news. I went, but she loves life. That was my first thought in my head, but she loves life because not everybody does love life. I'm afraid they don't do that. Not everybody is going, right, what else? And she is somebody that I've always seen as just like, so just
I think some people, loving life, I think she may well have admit in her own story of recovery that there have been times in her life where she hasn't loved life in quite the same way, and things fall in the right place.
But she grabs it by the balls. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Yeah,
she's a ball grabber.
She's a ball. Bloody hell, careful. Poor old Michael.
But yeah, I just wanted to play that video in case anybody had missed it because I just think it was beautiful.
Really beautiful. Yeah. We're going to end with some really funny clip that Nadia found for us to have a little bit of a chuckle. I just thought we need an interlude before we get into just briefly the World War III and how do we talk to our teens about this, because we literally had this situation.
No, I think we need
the
funny thing at the end.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, and then put the funny thing at the end.
Oh, right.
I just said that.
Oh.
I said, but we'll talk about... No, what I want to do before we go to World War III is I think we need a bit more of this.
So beautiful.
There we go. Okay, I just thought just wanted a moment of that.
She looks like Angelina Jolie there.
Do you think you said that last night?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Well, there's a clip of because Angelina Jolie has changed a lot, but when she was young, she was very She was quite like that.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'll be
Look
crying
at her
like
face
that.
for hours.
Lee Peer, I'll be crying like that if you say we've got World War III. Right.
As Lee said to me the other day, I keep seeing World War III popping up, and we're all tired, and I can't do this.
Now, we were having dinner last night, and courtesy, thank you so much, of some rather fabulous food that was sent to us. We were having dinner last night, and our youngest said to us, what is this about them turning the electricity off?
Is World War III happening, and is the electricity being turned off? We went,
now, the problem with our kids is, and the problem with a lot of kids, I'd like you to share in both your experiences of youngsters asking you about this. What do you say to youngsters when they ask you about this? And what do you think we should say?
Same thing as I say to Lee.
Yeah, exactly. Is it how we manage Lee?
I said the same thing to Lee.
Yeah. So when she said that, we know we can't lie because they can see through it like that. So you have to kind of step towards the truth of the situation.
Depending on the age,
yeah,
this is what we've found, is that we said the same thing that we say to ourselves, which is, we had all this last year. We've bought a bloody generator that we've got now down in the shed. It's probably rusty, probably doesn't even work.
It's fantastic.
And never bought any fuel to put in it anyway.
Yeah.
That, there's a lot of saber rattling between both sides.
Yeah.
There are lots of shoving and pushing. It's a lot of old men.
A lot of dick waving. Dick waving?
A lot of dick waving.
Yeah.
But there will also be an awful lot of very smart people behind the scenes trying to defuse this, and that it's more than likely that it's all going to go away. And when they say things like, but Putin is saying there are no intercepting, that Britain and America have no missiles that can intercept his new missile, because she even said he's practiced on a missile, hasn't he, in Ukraine?
Yeah.
I said to her what I'd heard from an arms expert the day before, which was countries have no idea what we have and what America have, because they've made that mistake before when they've talked about it.
Are you now lying for Lee? I feel like you're trying to make. I feel like you're trying to tell everyone.
Well, it wasn't going to kill me. It
No, but it was coming into your
but
mouth.
you might have taken my eye out.
It looked like it was entering your mouth.
Jesus, who do you think you are?
Did you see
Ben
I
Lee,
hit it
King
right?
Lee,
King Lee.
Lee,
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
I got it. It went over there and it went, fuck
Well
me that.
done. Well
okay,
done.
thank you. But hang on a minute. When we were young, we had dramas. I think your dad was in one of them. Dramas in which the Third World War happened. People were devastated. We lived in the 70s and 80s under the spectre of an imminent nuclear catastrophe.
Oh God, he's rehearsing. That's what the kids said last.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dress rehearsal. Who thinks we are any closer to World War III now than say we always have been at some of the worst
I
pinch
think we
points in history?
teeter on World War III always. I do think that what has happened in Israel, in Gaza, has
Fucked everything up.
fucked everything up,
Because of the
because
hypocrisy.
imagine, so Putin is going, now you're using these long-range missiles, you've encroached, seen exactly what's happened over in Gaza. The whole of the rest of the world has watched it. And that's not just Russia. That'll be China. That's Iran. Everyone's looking and going, man, when America pairs up with another country and finishes off a population, nobody's going to accept that.
Well, no, I agree. I think I just want to throw in a thought as you're saying that. I think you're kind of right. I don't think those countries would care anyway. Like America doesn't care. I think where it becomes really tricky in terms of global politics, the Gaza situation, is all the other countries that aren't world powers actually aren't capable of taking
and are
us all
signed
out,
up to the
but
International
are
Court
signed
of
up.
Justice.
Once they begin to see, as they are doing, the Southern Hemisphere countries are seeing the total hypocrisy at work. What will happen is alliances and loyalties will be developed away from the West because they know that it's a totally hypocritical front.
China and
serves,
Russia and Iran are all cozied up together.
Yeah.
And why?
And they will
Because
cozy up other countries.
This side has been bullying the world for way too long. So our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians is a true fact, because we can be treated how they are. This isn't what we said to them.
No, but one of the things we did talk about with the kids is what you have to say to yourself is it suits the West. Putin is a demonic tyrant, horrendous. The Iranian regime, horrendous. But as we're witnessing, the way in which the West delivers its tyranny is with a smile and with a movie and with produce drawing you into money and comfort.
11,500 Ukrainians have been killed. Horrific, horrendous what's happened. Terrifying, petrifying for all of us. The Lancet, the most respected medical journal, the oldest medical journal, says the figures are probably going to be about 200,000 in Gaza, and there's not a word said about it. How does the West think that the rest of the world perceives that? They perceive it that brown bodies, too foreign, people when they're a bit too foreign, do not matter at all to us. And that's what they see. Well, if I was that side of the world, I'd be going, fuck. Don't let them cross any more boundaries.
I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. We have a situation where American senators are threatening to invade The Hague.
What? The Hague?
Invade the International Criminal Court. They're saying this. They're saying, let's bring in the Hague Invasion Act. Let's go in and if anyone's arrested and taken in there. Now, there's all sorts of possible really frightening things that America and Trump is more than likely going to do to prevent the rest of the world from being able to arrest Netanyahu. Netanyahu has got total cover. It's like the mafia. He's
maybe when the film comes out.
Yeah,
it's going to be very different.
The BB files, do watch out for it. But finally on this, do we think World War III is coming? I hate to say it, guys. I think it's here. And I think we are going to experience all sorts of energy supply issues, and our infrastructure is going to be attacked. I don't think we're going to get bombs, but I think things like infrastructure could be hit quite significantly. And I think we do need to all be kind of not naive and thinking it won't happen.
A little bit prepared.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we show
Should we have a laugh? Because I bet Lee's left now. Lee, have you gone?
Lee, are you in a bunker? I mean, in Germany, they've told everyone to find bunkers. They've created an app in Germany to find your local bunker. But of course, if
we haven't even got any bunkers.
No, we haven't got any bunkers. But of course, if the electrics are hit, then your apps won't work. So the app is kind of useless.
Here we go. We're going to have to.
You need a map. We have to bring back the A to Z.
Can we please get something for our generator? Because we've got a generator and got nothing to put in it.
All right, here we go.
Let's do that again.
I think we might have missed the very beginning of that.
We're the grown-ups now.
Look at his wine, but she's still holding that wine.
I know, she's not let go of it.
This guy with his head against the wall.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Do you know what? Ever since I've seen that video, I've wanted to come down the stairs on a mattress.
Yes.
And very easily influenced.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it. But we don't have any single mattresses. Oh, no, we do. Nanny died. Let's do it. All right, guys. Thanks for that. It was lovely to see you all. Lovely to scare the shit out of ourselves.
It will be all right.
It will be okay.
It will be okay.
Yeah. I don't know how we'll make... Oh!